Okay. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Hopefully I'm being heard clearly enough. Um, hey, good morning, guys. Welcome back to another live stream here at TrinFx. I'm hoping I'm being heard clearly enough. Just signing in here. Alright, so welcome. Um, just to get started real quick, I want to take a look at something what we had happening here, right? We had AUD interest rates, right? We had an interest rate decision. We got that increase of that 50 base point increase. Sorry, 50 or 20? 20, 25, sorry. 25 base point increase, right? So just slightly, we got a slight increase from the AUD, which is pretty interesting to see, right? The AUD has been very lagging in terms of where their stance has been with their monetary policy, considering the other economies, right? But we finally got an increase here, and looking forward, we'll see how that affects the AUD. I think it should give the AUD room to actually start turning around here on price, where we had this initial fall because of USD news, USD related news, which still is a very overly exaggerated fall here from the US dollar, right? We saw that sort of recovery from the dollar happening, price broke down these levels and continued falling even further, right back into this level right here, right? So I do think we have a possibility for price to recover. I'm looking to enter a trade right around here. This being the entry point for price to come back up within this overall we have a very strong uptrend, right? Overall, so I'm looking for price to kind of come back up into these levels. Maybe by the end of the week we might see that happening. So that's what I'm looking at for right now. So I'm not too heavy on sell opportunities right now on this particular pair. Especially coming with the US dollar. I do think next week we have USD news. So that's the only other time where I think the US dollar should see a interesting push, right? Um, Looking for tomorrow as well. We're scrolling through we're gonna take a scroll through all the fundamentals that we have coming up, right? So we have some more AD GDP growth news. I see expecting a pretty interesting increase here, so that's good. For the third quarter yearly comparison here, and this is quarter to quarter, right? From 0.9% down 2%, 0.2%, right? But overall, we are looking at the yearly comparison here. We're looking to expect an increase. So if we do get this, that'll be great for the AD as well. We have GDP, employment news tomorrow, and interest rate. Again, interest rate for the card, right? So we have some more interest rate news. For the card, expecting a 50 base point increase. All right, yeah, 50. So this is something to look forward to as well. And we should see like an overall recovery on the card too. The card has been falling with the US dollar. Let's take a look here at AED USD, right? So we could potentially see the card actually, gain some momentum from this. You might see a turnaround. I'm looking to more so trade something like CAD JPY or even USD CAD potentially on that turnaround, right? I want to be able to sell USD CAD, and I'm actually going to look to take a trade on this once price does start passing like these levels here. Once price does reach back into this level here, I'm actually going to take a trade to the downside. So this is what I'm waiting on as well, right? Again, this is from that USD bullishness that we saw pretty strongly yesterday, looking for a reversal on that. Um, this stands to me as being something that could potentially happen because based on fundamentals, not really much gave way to that US dollar push that we saw, right? It was very unexpected that we saw that push, and it could be because we had maybe some news at the moment that spurred price to move like that. But overall, the fundamental factors behind it not pretty it's not there. So I do think we could see a turnaround on price. Especially coming from the Jerome Powell speech that he gave, it was kind of lackluster. So he didn't have much to say that would prompt any hawkishness in the market for the US dollar. So that's why I said this is like a spur of the moment sort of move that we could see a correction on, and that's what I'm looking forward to, right? So we'll see whether that plays out or not. But you have my fundamental reasoning behind looking for USD sells, right? We have some ECB news too, and we have a little bit of Fed news. Sorry, a little bit of USD news coming up Friday, right? Have some ECB, some USD news here, some speech here from the president, Laurade, however you say her name. I do think next week we have interest rates for we have interest rates, I believe, for the US dollar. And so I'm looking here just to see clearly what it is that we have coming up next week. We have CPI, so that's something to pay attention to. Yeah, the core inflation numbers looking to be higher a bit. I most likely wouldn't be trading during this period on Tuesday, next week Tuesday. Just as makes sense taking the unnecessary risk. Interest rate increase. So we may get a lackluster sort of movement on the interest rate increase just because, right? Powell had a very neutral stance, basically. So I'm not looking for too much movement during here, right? We might actually see a turnaround on price. When further, we have interest rate projections, right? So this is some expectancy. Yeah. And like I said, I'll probably be only trading the first 2 weeks of December. I'm not looking to really drag on December with my trading. I'm just trying to make 10%, get out and enjoy the rest of the year, and we're approaching market next year. I actually look at seeing price pulling down a little bit here now. Yeah, so that's great. Let's take a look. GBP JPY, right? Okay, so JPY. Let's take a look here. Right, so on the daily, price has retargeted this sort of we have this zone that price is currently paying respect to, right? This sort of a trend line area. I don't particularly use trend lines unless it's like just to know the direction of price movement. Looking here at the 4 hour, we see that price has come up above this level of resistance. So if we get a nice strong close to the upside here, we could continue moving up. I'm looking at this gap area right here, right? Price could potentially reverse from, but we should see a move, a continuation upwards, right? Let's come here to the 1 hour. And hopefully I'm being heard clearly, right? Everybody's seeing me clearly. Everybody's seeing me, right? So looking here at the 1 hour. Okay, so price coming to a close in 20 minutes timing here. And I do think we could see a continuation with this bullish movement. The same thing like yesterday, a live stream, we did see a continuation all the way up here, right? Even though price did start to wick down and all of that, if we actually stuck in this trade, it would have been an 11% winner. Oh well. And I don't like to be the one to be I wish I should have, would have, could, right? I could have hold the trade. I would have hold the trade if prices move like that, right? I don't want to be that guy, but it's pretty annoying to see when your analysis plays out, especially, when in the moment it looked like, price might do some weird shit. But that's just part of the whole trading thing, right? So I just think we could continue moving upwards, really target into this area even higher, potentially, right? But again, we also have the fact that that US dollar could start turning around, right? So some weakness could hit, and we could potentially see the JPY gain on the day and actually, reverse on this. But for now, I don't think that would be, the possibility. I do think price should continue moving upwards, at least targeting around this area here. So something like keeping my stop loss relatively tight right below this candle here as price push. This would be the trade that I'm looking for or looking to take, right? um Being aware of a couple of key things, right? The fact that price is currently pushing right now, as you know, it's not uncommon to see that at the first candle as price forms we could get, a pullback and then a continuation. That is what we saw right around here, right? Price pulled back very significantly, wicked back up. I see we wicked around this support area right here, and then it gradually pushed all the way back up, right? Even, all the way to the target level. So that's something to pay note to. I am going to enter this trade right now and let it do its thing. So this is a wanted trade that I'm looking to potentially, play out on. Let's take a look at the smaller time frame. All right, so this is the current bear candle that price is forming, right? So since we got this break, right, looking here at the lower time frame, since we got this break above, right, some clean bullish move to the upside, we're looking at this current 30-minute candle, and we want to see price make a wick here and then look for possible continuations, right? So we want to see price actually pull back from this area and continue up. Once we do get that wick pullback, you could pay stop loss right below that area, right? Because now more than likely price should continue moving up instead of revisiting all the way back down to that wick, especially with the current bullishness that we're seeing, right? So we go way coming closer. But yeah, this would be another possible trade if you want to maximize your yields. Then most definitely this will be something you could get into, right? So we wait until this candle finishes, do whatever it's doing, right? We wait for that wick, and once we see that wick, we could enter anywhere on this candle body, stop loss right below this candle wick, and then we should see a continuation moving upwards. So we could wait here and just see what price does. Let me just take this and put an alert right here, because once price does pull back into this area, we'll enter for the buy setups, right? So right around here, once price does pull back, on that entry zone, um, which is coming a little bit lower into the opening, right? We should see that continuation move upwards. I can even target all the way up here potentially, right? But just for the sake, for a little peace of mind, this would be the area that I'll first initially look at to possibly target, right? So you want that bullish close above, continuation movements. Again, it's sort of a tricky thing to say, right? Because what we want to do, we want to go with the momentum where volume is at, right? And that is pushing to the upside. Obviously, on the first candle forming on London Open, it's not uncommon to see that it might come back down, as well as we could potentially get a continuation, right? There's always a probability that we could get a continuation price pulling lower, especially once we see that US dollar reverse and, sort of a market correction on that dollar um, bullishness that we saw, right? So that is something that's always possible. It's always good to pay attention to these things, how price correlates with each other, and it helps you stay out of one, certain trades that you shouldn't get involved into right now and stuff like that, because there's a sort of a mixed sentiment around them. or because price might move or behave in a certain way because of some other factor, right? So it's always good to note those kind of things. Well, yeah, this is a trade. So your stop loss could even go below this candle, and you just wait for that bullish close above here to enter, for it to ride along. Or maybe you can even enter preemptively and let price do its thing, right? But obviously we'll look and see what happens, and I'll update you guys within the VIP and the free Telegram and free Discord group on how this trade plays out, right? If anybody have any questions, feel free to ask. Also leave a like on the stream, right? It really helps it out. Really helps out the channel. Get into the YouTube algorithm and get more visitors, views or whatever the case is, right? But yeah, I'm still salty about this, right? I'm still very salty about this. Price moved all the way up, um, but that's the thing with me. I don't really like holding my trades for this like an entire day of trading. It depends. It depends on the trade itself. But in these recent times, right now with December and November month, it hasn't been something I've really done um as much as I should or I would, because it's just I don't know where the volume is gonna stop, right? I don't know when price is gonna just dip and reverse on me. So I'll either trail my stops one, or I'll just take my profits where I can and just look towards the next day. But yeah, this is just one of the things about trading that happens. At least overall, our analysis was correct. We did see that continuation move upwards. Price did reject from here very strongly, so this would have been a great indication to possibly see price move up and even higher. That's why we did come very bearish into this zone, but again, we maintained it and price continued gradually pushing up. So that's always great to see. Alright, so we note how price goes into this area. This is still on the 4 hour candle, right? So this is still the 4 hour candle still has around 2 hours and 12 minutes. So price could very well pull below this, and then we'll have a maintenance of this resistance. So at which point price could very well come back even lower. Um, on the day, right? So that is something to pay attention and aware to. But with the current bullishness, I do think we should continue seeing that, right? Even if sellers try to step in to, weigh price back down, we should see some sort of struggle and some continuations to the upside, right? So yeah, paying that in mind too, to potentially see as well. All right, so we're waiting and seeing. In terms of anything else, not really much to discuss. Um, Something like 80 JPY. I do think price should continue moving up with this as well, especially the interest rate increase. That should be good. 80 USD. Again, I'm looking for a turnaround on this. Whether it happens now or later, I don't know. But I am potentially looking to see this come back up, right? During the New York session, we could actually see price swing back low, just because it's a New York session, which should happen during then. The price manipulations, but that's just part of the whole trading gig, right? So we can't do anything much about that. Um, yeah, I do want to see price actually reverse and come back up to these levels here, right? Potentially come back up into these levels. So we'll wait and see how that happens. Once price does reach into this area is where I'm looking to actually take. I have my buy stops waiting to come back up here. So we'll see what transpires there. And yeah, like I said, this month, sorry, I'm not overly enthusiastic of it, and I'm not risking. Excuse me. I'm not risking an entire lot, just because December, right? It's a really messed up month. Could be a really messed up month. So we're being conservative with our risk and managing our risk properly, right? So all of that, take it into consideration. And again, we're moving with a lot of news. There will be a lot of fluctuation, a lot of wicking back and forth when we don't have much volume and stuff like that. Right. So that's something you need to be aware of. I'm currently up for the month, and I want to reach a 10. I have a 10% profit target for this month. So when we do hit that, hopefully in the first 2 weeks, that'll be great. Otherwise, if I do, suffer back-to-back losses, I have a max loss of -6%. So that's what I. If I hit -6%, then that's it. I'm cutting off for December, and we'll just come back January, right? So sometimes you need to have patience, and you need to be you need to have patience with yourself, right? We can't control the market, okay? So we have to have patience and wait for the trade setups to come to us. Sometimes we can't control the market, and every time we'll get a trade setup, obviously. So we have to be patient and wait. So if anybody have any questions, feel free to ask, as well as leave a like on the stream. Right, really helps out. Really helps me out. All right, so we'll see how this transpires. So you see, prices are actually pulling back a little bit, right? We leave this long wick to the upside, and prices currently within this zone here on this candle. Very common, very common. Again, here on the 30-minute. Alright, so maybe we might be leaving the wick right now, and maybe price might come back up into this zone, to this entry level, and then we can see a continuation. But as you know, I like giving price two chances to do its thing. So the initial one, and this is the second one. Yeah, stop loss right below this candle. Excuse me. A couple minutes until that. Let's take a look at the DXY real quick. Yeah, some big zones, right? Some big zones that I drew up here on the daily. So I'm gonna clear this here. Right? Redo this. As the price gradually fell below the zone here, then we pull back up. And we kind of in this consolidation period here. So if we see a further fall here, that'll be great for our USD sell setups, right? But again, during New York session, might see some price manipulation, see um some attempts of recovery for the US dollar. Not uncommon. So that's just something to note. And we could also be, potentially be starting a sort of a range right here, right? Price just bouncing back and forth between these two areas. Okay, so maybe on the day price might come back and revisit these lows, and on the next day come back to the highs here and just keep on doing that sort of BS until we have some catalysts such as the interest rate decision and or some the jobless claim news and whatnot. I think if you're a gold trader, it would be nice to get into gold for the long side too right now. I think that has a good probability of potentially playing out. Yeah, 15 on the 30-minute time frame. Okay, 30-minute time frame. So right, gold currently in a sort of a, it's like a simple, easiest way to trade gold, right? Gold is sorry, gold is currently in a no trade zone right now, right? So just back and forth. If price does break to the upside here, then could likely see a continuation. We have clean movements to the upside right here, targeting to this area. So something like, all right, price breaks above, then you could take a short gold position. All right, you could take a long gold position. Stop loss right below on the wick that's created here, and then you just target into here, right? And gradually you can move your stop loss. I mean, you can move your profit target up, right? And just trail your stops, and this, is a potential trade here. So I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna see what happens through the course of the day. And let's say during New York session, the price manipulation and the USD does gain some strength again, then gold could fall even lower, and obviously I have clean movements, the low all the way down here, right? So once prices break, it'll just continue all the way down, which is a potential trade as well. Excuse me. Yeah, see, cat. I'm gonna leave this until it reaches back into this level to trigger and potentially get a 1 to 6 on this. So I'm not gonna enter early, but if price does break the downside here, that's a pretty good signal for a continuation even lower. A revisitation back in below these lows here, right? And a continuation lower, going even lower. See, full on rejection, full on pullback. Not even surprised. Right, so full on rejection from this area right here. But again, I'm keeping this as an option for price to swing even higher. So just gonna leave it, let it do its thing. We'll see. Coming to the close here, if price does break above even higher, then if we do get a clean break to the upside, then that just gives you more of a confirmation that this zone is now passed and price should continue even higher, right? So we'll see what happens. And price currently pulling away. I don't think this would means particularly a revisitation all the way back lower here, right? Um, has been pretty strong bullishly, right? So I don't think we should see just a full-on reversal right now. Um, plus too, there's still really fundamental factor that would drive price to do that at this point in time. So this is just about how normally price action would react and behave. So we'll see. I do think we have 2 hours remaining on this candle, right? The forwardly candle. Yeah, I do think that we would revisit back up into these areas here, these highs, within that time span. So we'll see, and then we could get a continuation even higher. So as of right now, I'm gonna leave this. Have my target levels here. This is where I'm looking to enter, right? And I'll adjust these levels once price does finish does do its thing, right? Because I mean, once we are triggered here, if we get triggered here, then more than likely price will wick back. So I'll adjust my stop loss levels, to suit, and we'll just wait to see what price does. Right, so we enter here. Price is currently London open, could potentially pull even lower. Take a look here. Yeah. Full on coverage here. However, I have clean levels moving to the upside until we run into this resistance area. So overall, I do think you should likely see that continuation even higher, right? So I'm gonna leave it, and we'll see what price decides to do at this point, right? But I'm gonna leave it and let it do its thing. Again, adjusting these stop loss levels once we do get triggered in and price continues doing this thing. I would not I'm gonna leave it, right? My stop loss levels, obviously I'll adjust that to suit. But for now I'm just gonna leave my bias, same continuation as I'm looking for. As you can see, usually with the biases that we are generally correct. It's just a matter of how price moves and decides to move, right? So for now I'm just gonna leave it, let it do its thing, and yeah, call it a day. Alright guys, so this is where I'm gonna end it. Obviously I'll update you guys with any VIP, any free the normal channel as well as the Telegram as well. And we'll see what price decides to do on the day. Alright, so thank you for joining. I do hope you have a great trading day. And yeah, if I see any other trade opportunities, which I'm not too keen on entering anything right now to be honest, I'll let you guys know as well in the Discord group. Alright guys, so thank you for joining. Leave a like and peace. We'll speak more tomorrow, right?